everybody with you.
Good morning and welcome back to the 43rd Ryder Cup. We are here with Collin Morikawa. Collin, welcome to your first Ryder Cup of your career. What does this U.S. team roster, of which you're part of, 6 rookies, 8 20-somethings, and you meet both those dynamics, what does it say about the present state of American golf and its future?
Diversity. You know, I think we talk about that not just in golf, but around the world right now, especially in the U.S. And it shows that there's, you know, golf is meant for a lot of people. It's meant for a lot of different people, and anyone that has a chance, they can get a chance to make it here. And to have 6 rookies, I think that's a lot. But we have 6 veterans, and we have 6 guys, even though we're a fairly young team. We've got a lot of guys that just have had experience in golf in general. Obviously, the Ryder Cup's a whole different kind of beast of itself, but I think we're all meant for this stage, and we look forward to it.
Good to have you here. Let's hit the floor for some questions for Collin. Let's start number 19, Jeff.
As someone who's watched this from the outside looking in, is it kind of puzzling what the U.S. fortunes have been in this event and having all this the new faces and fresh blood? How excited are you guys to try and turn that around?
We're really excited. Yeah, it is puzzling how I think we've lost, you know, a lot in the handful of years looking back at the past, but that's the past. You know, we're here and we're about the present. We're about, you know, hopefully what the future is going to be like, but you know, it's about this week, and hopefully we can turn that around and we can kind of turn that tide in our favor for the, you know, however many years I'm able to play this, but yeah, you know, what's happened in the past, you know, I couldn't have had any control of that. You know, I was whatever years old, and I think as time goes on, we learn. You know, you learn and you improve, and just looking at the way the captains are going this week, you know, I don't know exactly what it was like just say, you know, 10 years ago, but they're doing everything that I would want to see in a captain, so it's awesome to see and be a part of that team.
Okay, let's go across the way, number 3.
Hey, Collin. You're usually pretty stone-faced out on the golf course. I think the most I've seen from you is like a little fist pump. I didn't watch you at the Ryder Cup, but I'm curious. Do you think that at the Walker Cup, rather? I'm sorry. Do you think that this week we're going to see a little more, maybe a side of you that we haven't really seen on the golf course?
Yeah, I think that's what the Ryder Cup brings out of some people. You're still going to see, you know, you're not going to see me as energetic as some because I want to get the job done. But yeah, there's going to be emotion. But it's about, you know, leveling out that emotion, right? Having that emotion after a made putt or a one hole, and then going back to the next tee shot and realizing that was the last hole. You got to worry about this next hole, kind of this mini match. So, yeah, you know, I think I'm pretty good at balancing that out, and hopefully, you know, see a lot of fist pumps out there.
Let's go straight back, number 23, Alex.
Collin, a lot of guys have come in here and talked about how they have learned things about other guys because they kind of let their hair down, things that you don't usually do at a normal tournament. What have you learned about any of your teammates this week?
They're all amazing guys, and they're really smart. I mean, I just chimed in on I wasn't even talking. I was listening to a conversation with Jordan and Bryson last night at our dinner, and the things they're talking about are things that, you know, I'd never talk about with my friends or other golfers that I even play with. You know, just say in college, you know, it's crazy the level of knowledge these guys have for the game because they love it so much and they're interested, and that's what I love to do. And I just kind of peek my ear, you know, in and kind of figure out what they're talking about. But they're just they love it so much, and I think looking at the veterans and looking at the ones that have lost a Ryder Cup already. They just want to win. You know, it's at the end of the week, you know, it doesn't matter if you've won 0 points or if you won 5. If your team wins, you know, it's the best feeling in the world. And I think that's the way a lot of guys have to look at it. And that's, you know, how I looked at the Walker Cup I played, the Palmer Cups I've played. Thankfully, I've been on the right side of those. So hopefully I can just keep it that way.
Can you just give us the gist of or the topic that Jordan and Bryson were talking about?
They were just talking about wedges.
Not to make them get that excited about wedge discussion.
No, trust me, it was a very interesting conversation.
All right, 21.
All of that. Just curious, I'm sure as a golf fan, you've got certain television memories growing up of Tiger making the putt at Torrey or do you have any Ryder Cup highlight television memories burned into your skull?
I wouldn't say burned in. That's me. I think we've gone through this question a bunch of like majors. What's your favorite history on this and that? And to be honest, like it just kind of goes through me. Like I'd rather be playing. Like watching the Ryder Cup. Obviously, you watch it every year with your family and friends and whatnot. But to be honest, like I'd much rather be playing. So I'm happier to be in this moment, be in this stage. So let's make some memories this week.
And along those lines, you've been on the team for longer than most guys, and I'm sure you've kind of thought about what it's going to be like this week. Has anything not surprised you, but has anything happened this week, golf course, team room, whatever, that you weren't expecting?
Not really. I think some of the times when you're with the entire team, those are the best moments. I mean, just riding on a bus yesterday with half the guys to dinner is like some of the best stories you're ever going to hear. And I think those are the memories that you kind of take with you. All the clothes, all the fans, everything, you kind of know what you're going to expect. But you just don't know what kind of stories you're going to hear. And those are some of the best things that you're going to remember for the rest of your life.
Who is the best storyteller, and are you one of them?
No, I'm definitely not one of them. I mean, I'm 24, and I have maybe like a fraction, if not zero, of the stories, say, Phil Mickelson has. Phil, obviously, is a great storyteller. I don't know if he's telling the truth at this point. I mean, you get to a certain age, and you kind of just – you make stuff up, and I have a hard time believing some of the stuff I heard, but
But they
it
were
is what it
entertaining.
is. It is what it is.
Chuck, 22.
Yeah, a few years ago, I watched your graduation on YouTube. It was just as exciting as most graduation ceremonies are. But it wasn't that long ago. Like, congratulations. But
Thank you.
as you were coming here, it's really not that long ago, and you got 2 majors, and you're already in this as an obvious choice, shoe-in candidate, whatever. Were you astounded at all at how far it's come so fast for you?
No, I mean, look, was the Ryder Cup, or let's talk about the Olympics. I realize we're at the Ryder Cup. The Olympics were not on my radar at all when I graduated. I mean, I thought that was just something that was not attainable really unless I had done what I did, and I wasn't thinking like it wasn't possible. But for me, that first summer was to get my card. How do I get my card? Whether it's through Corn Ferry Finals or whether I win or enough points, get my card. So there's been goals that I've set, obviously very high goals, but still achievable. And there's goals out there that I put to my standard that I think that I can reach that maybe other guys don't. But that's for me to know and for me to believe. But knowing that this Ryder Cup was after I won, and then you win a major and you play well in 2020. This was obviously a goal, and I think you have to adjust your goals as time goes on. And maybe the Ryder Cup wasn't on my radar when I graduated, but it soonly was on the radar. And that President's Cup that I missed in 19, quickly was on my radar because I had put my name out there, I'd played well, and had to play better. But missing that team, not that I had a great chance to make that team, but just missing that team kind of just pushed me to like. I want to be on these team events, and these team events are just so memorable that you don't really want to miss any.
When was your first conversation with Steve Stricker about the Ryder Cup team? Do you remember that?
Yeah, so we had talked maybe a few weeks before the PGA at Harding, and I knew I wanted to play a practice round with him. I had never got to meet him actually, and we scheduled a practice round that week at Harding, and obviously he was a good luck charm to kind of fuel a win.
Kind of worked, didn't it? Let's go over to Daniel, number 3.
You've reached that level now where if you have a couple of so-so tournaments, people are what's going on, or is he injured? So how did you process somewhat disappointing FedEx Cup playoffs, and how's the body and the game feel coming into this week?
Yeah, it was just bad timing. The biggest thing I learned from those 3 weeks was to never play injured. I think I've learned that. I'm never going to do that again, no matter what it is. It's just it built bad habits into my golf swing. By the time the playoffs had started at Liberty, I thought my back was feeling good, but I just built in some really bad swing patterns, and that's what happens when I play bad or when you play with an injury. And those 3 weeks, I was just trying to figure out how do I hit it better, because that's a big part of my game. Trusting, knowing where the golf ball is going to go. And so those 3 weeks, we're just trying to figure out, how do I hit my cut? How do I hit my cut? How do I aim left, fade it right. And I finally figured it out right after the playoffs. And, you know, obviously some really bad timing, but it's going to happen. You're going to play bad, and that's golf. And, you know, it feels good. You know, I was talking with Xander yesterday, and he looked at me. He's like, "You're back." And I'm like, "Yes, I'm back." So the cuts are back, and it's a good time to have that shot.
Cuts are back. Are you 100% healthy?
I'm 100% healthy. I knock on wood right now, but I'm feeling great.
6 and then 8.
Right, Colin, can I just ask you to expand on your very first answer you gave when you talked about diversity in the team, and what sense you meant that, in the sense internally of the team, or also in the image that this team gives out to the sport and representing your nation?
Yeah, let's see. I mean, when you look at us on TV, we're all pretty much the same. We're all just hitting a golf ball, moving it forward, playing 18 holes. But everyone on this team has their own character. And to finally get to know, and I know pretty much everyone on this team already, but to get to know them a little bit better and see their character really pull out of them when you're in the team rooms, when you're hanging out, having dinner, that's what's fun. You know, that's when you get to really see what everyone's like, and everyone's awesome. You know, it's such a good 12-man team that they're just fun to be around. That it just makes the week a little different than what you normally see. You know, we're not talking like this and hanging out on a regular week. You know, our tour events, you go and do your business and get out, and it's a lot different feeling when you're off the golf course, when you're hanging out, and it's just it's that much more enjoyable, I think, and it brings the team together.
One more about the course. You can compare your feelings when you first went to Sandwich and saw that course, which obviously fitted your eye and you played really well. And when you see here, how do you feel? And comparisons or differences, or?
Yeah, I feel comfortable. A lot of the par threes I feel great on. A lot of the iron shots I feel good. So that's my strength. You know, put it in the fairway, and the rough's not crazy long out here. So yeah, that might help a couple guys. But there's still some long grass. Some of these bunkers are really penalizing, and you got to hit good shots. And we know birdies are going to win a lot of holes, and pars are going to be good in some aspects of the format. So you know, I'm feeling really good right now.
Okay, we're going to wrap it up with Bob, number 8.
Collin, was there a specific instance where you hurt your back in Japan, or was it just sort of cumulative? And also, can you also say, when did it feel fine and it was just a matter of bad habits that were impacting you?
Yeah, it was actually the first round on 14, right before our first delay. So, I mean, it's really early on in the Olympics. And that was, I think that's, you know, what's great about when you play for a team is that it just pulled something out of me to just grind it out for that week. And then as, you know, you go on to Memphis. So that week was when it really happened. And then, you know, I felt fine going right into playoffs. I hadn't touched a club because I had to, you know, make sure my body was all feeling good. But going into playoffs that first week, my body felt fine. So that was good. The swing looked awful, and the ball flights were going everywhere, and it's not, you know, it didn't help that I wasn't making any putts or chipping well. So it was just kind of a combination of everything. You know, bad habits crept in, and sometimes it takes a day to get out bad habits, and sometimes, you know, like what happened, took 3 weeks. And it was just, you know, it's such unfortunate timing with the way, you know, how I played throughout the regular season. I don't even think I played that great. It was kind of a mediocre season, even, you know, with the wins I had. I think the consistency wasn't there with what I wanted and what I probably said after last year's, you know, tour championship on what I wanted to do this season. So it was really bad timing, but I'm glad I'm healthy now. I'm glad the body and the swing is back. Because I can just go out, especially with an atmosphere like this, you can just go out and hit your shot.
Was it lower back or?
Yeah, it was just a muscle. It was a muscle. So it was just, yeah. I mean, I tried hitting out of this kind of really sticky rough in Japan, and yeah, I got to get stronger.
All right, Collin, thanks for stopping in. Have a great day and a great stay here in Wisconsin.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.